Right now, you are probably taking a supplement that is actively taxing your liver, clogging your arteries, and loading your cells with industrial waste, all while you pay premium prices for it. Most people think they are investing in their health when they swallow that daily capsule, but the reality inside the supplement industry is dark. There are massive multi-billion-dollar chemical corporations mass-producing white powders, spraying them with synthetic starches, and labeling them as pure health food. If you don't know the exact red flags to look for on your bottle, you are not just wasting your hard-earned money, you are swallowing toxic fillers that completely override your body's metabolic healing. Before we unlock the very first warning sign on your label, pause right now and type the word health in the comment section below so your brain actively locks in this information. Hit that like button to help protect thousands of others from swallowing these toxins, and subscribe to Metabolic Health Lab right this second. If you care about your metabolic health, your insulin levels, and your longevity, you cannot afford to miss a single second of what is about to be exposed, because what you don't know about your daily routine is quietly slowing down your metabolism. Let's dive straight into the first major red flag, which is something called the synthetic extraction footprint. When you walk into a store and buy a standard vitamin, look closely at the form of the nutrient listed on the back. If you see the words cyanocobalamin under your vitamin B12 section, you need to understand exactly what you are putting into your body. That prefix, cyano, is not a coincidence. It is literally a cyanide molecule attached to cobalt. Chemical factories use this synthetic form because it is incredibly cheap to produce and stays stable on a retail shelf for years. But when you swallow it, your liver has to work overtime to strip away the cyanide molecule, process the toxin, and attempt to find a methyl group in your body to make it bioavailable. If you have a hidden genetic mutation which affects over 40% of the population, your body cannot convert this cheap synthetic version at all. It simply builds up in your tissues, creating cellular stress instead of giving you the cellular energy you actually need. If this is completely new to you, drop a yes in the comments right now, because almost nobody is warned about this by their standard doctor. What you want to see instead is methylcobalamin, which is the natural, pre-methylated form that your cells can instantly recognize and utilize without any toxic conversion steps. But this synthetic footprint goes much deeper than just B12. Think about vitamin B6. The cheap industrial form used in 90% of multivitamins is pyridoxine hydrochloride. This is an inactive synthetic crystalline structure. When you flood your system with high doses of pyridoxine hydrochloride, it actually competes for the same cellular receptors as the active form of B6, which is P5P. By taking the wrong, cheap synthetic form, you can ironically trigger a functional vitamin B6 deficiency, leading to nerve tingling, water retention, and a sluggish metabolism. The body treats these isolated chemical extractions like foreign invaders, not like food. In nature, vitamins never exist as isolated pure chemical crystals. They always arrive as part of a complex network, surrounded by trace minerals, enzymes, and cofactors that tell your body exactly how to navigate and absorb the nutrients safely. But here's what most people completely miss when they look at their supplement routine. They assume that if a vitamin is sold in a health food store, the ingredients must come from pristine, natural sources. The reality is that over 80% of the raw materials used to manufacture synthetic vitamins across the entire globe originate from massive industrial chemical plants in China. They are synthesized from coal tar, petroleum derivatives, and volatile acids. Synthetic vitamin C, known as ascorbic acid, is almost entirely manufactured by fermenting cornstarch with volatile acids, resulting in a highly isolated chemical clone. Real vitamin C in nature isn't just ascorbic acid. It is a complex wheel that contains bioflavonoids, rutin, vitamin K1, and trace minerals like copper. When you take massive therapeutic doses of isolated synthetic ascorbic acid, your body has to deplete its own internal stores of copper and bioflavonoids just to assemble the complete wheel so it can use the nutrient. You are effectively robbing your own tissues to process a synthetic supplement. And this is where things get even more serious, leading us directly into the second major red flag, the presence of calcification catalysts. Millions of people, especially after 40 or 50, are told to take calcium supplements to protect their bones. If you look at the ingredients of a standard mainstream multivitamin or bone health formula, the very first ingredient listed is almost always calcium carbonate. Do you know what calcium carbonate actually is? It is limestone. It is literally chalk. It is one of the cheapest, least absorbable forms of calcium on the planet, with an absorption rate of less than 5%. When you flood your digestive tract with massive elemental doses of elemental chalk, your gut cannot process it efficiently. The unabsorbed calcium sits in your digestive tract, causing severe constipation and altering your delicate gut microbiome. But the calcium that does manage to slip into your bloodstream presents an even greater hazard to your cardiovascular system. If your body does not have the correct biological roadmaps to guide that calcium out of the blood and into the solid structure of your bones, that limestone begins to precipitate out of solution. It deposits directly into your soft tissues. It builds up in your joints, leading to stiffness and arthritis. It deposits in your kidneys, creating agonizing stone formations. Most dangerously of all, it builds up inside the delicate endothelial lining of your arteries, forming hard, calcified arterial plaque. You are trying to fix your bones, but you are accidentally calcifying your cardiovascular system. Hit that like button right now if you have a bottle of calcium carbonate sitting in your cabinet, because we need to get this warning out to as many people as possible before they continue clogging their arteries. The reason this tragic calcification happens comes down to a complete lack of necessary cofactors. In the human body, calcium cannot move an inch without its biological partners. You must have vitamin D3 to act as the primary gatekeeper that allows calcium to be absorbed through your intestinal wall into the bloodstream in the first place. But once that calcium is in the blood, you absolutely require vitamin K2, specifically the MK7 form, to activate a crucial protein called osteocalcin. This protein acts like a magnetic vacuum, pulling the calcium straight out of your bloodstream and locking it safely inside your teeth and bones. Simultaneously, vitamin K2 activates another protein called matrix GLA protein, which actively prevents calcium from ever depositing into your arterial walls. If you take calcium without vitamin K2, you are playing Russian roulette with your heart health. Furthermore, vitamin D3 itself cannot function without magnesium. Magnesium is the absolute cellular spark plug required to convert stored vitamin D into its active circulating form. If you are among the 80% of the population that is already chronically deficient in magnesium due to depleted agricultural soils, taking high doses of vitamin D3 will rapidly burn through whatever tiny reserves of magnesium you have left. This sudden depletion triggers acute side effects, muscle spasms, intense anxiety, racing heart palpitations, and total insomnia. The viewer thinks they are having a negative reaction to vitamin D, but they are actually experiencing a severe, self-induced magnesium crash. What happens next is the part nobody talks about, and it brings us to our third critical red flag, the gut-destroying binder trap. To manufacture millions of tablets every single day, industrial supplement companies need their machines to run at hyperspeed without jamming. To achieve this, they add industrial lubricants and flowing agents to the raw vitamin powders. The most common one you will see on almost any commercial supplement label is magnesium stearate or its close relative stearic acid. Do not confuse this with a beneficial magnesium supplement. Magnesium stearate is a synthetic compound created by bonding a magnesium ion with a saturated fatty acid called stearic acid, often derived from low-grade, chemically processed palm oil. This ingredient serves absolutely zero nutritional purpose for your body. It exists solely as a mechanical lubricant to stop the vitamins from sticking to the metal machinery in the factory. When you ingest capsules coated in magnesium stearate day after day, this waxy compound creates a literal barrier along the delicate mucosal lining of your small intestine. It acts like a progressive layer of varnish inside your gut, significantly delaying the breakdown of the actual capsule and reducing the absorption of the actual nutrients inside by up to 70%. But it gets even worse. Many of these industrial lubricants are heavily contaminated with processing chemicals and pesticides during manufacturing. Another massive binder trap is an ingredient called maltodextrin. If you look closely at powder supplements, electrolytes, or even meal replacement shakes, you will find maltodextrin hidden on the label. Manufacturers love it because it acts as a cheap bulking agent and improves texture. But maltodextrin is an ultra-processed, high glycemic starch that is actually worse for your metabolism than white table sugar. It has a glycemic index that can spike your blood sugar up to 110 compared to pure sugar, which sits around 65. If you are trying to heal insulin resistance, reverse metabolic syndrome, or optimize your fat-burning hormones, taking a daily supplement loaded with hidden maltodextrin keeps your insulin levels chronically elevated, locking you out of your fat stores and fueling systemic inflammation. If you want more simple metabolic fixes to protect your gut and keep your hormones balanced, make sure you are subscribed to this channel right now so you never miss these deep dives. Beyond maltodextrin, you must check the bottom of your label under the Other Ingredients section for something called microcrystalline cellulose. This is a fancy scientific-sounding name for highly processed, refined wood pulp. Supplement companies use wood pulp as a cheap filler to pack out capsules so they look full. Human genetics do not possess the enzymes required to break down and digest refined wood pulp. It travels completely intact through your digestive tract, causing unexplained bloating, gas, and chronic microscopic irritation to your intestinal wall, contributing directly to the development of leaky gut syndrome. When your gut lining becomes inflamed and permeable, those industrial chemical fillers, unabsorbed synthetic vitamins, and bacterial fragments escape directly into your bloodstream, triggering a systemic autoimmune response. Your immune system goes on high alert, creating chronic joint pain, brain fog, and stubborn weight gain that refuses to budge no matter how clean your diet is. But let's uncover a hidden trigger that is even more deceptive, which leads us directly to our fourth major red flag: heavy metal contamination and cheap mineral sourcing. When you buy a mineral supplement, whether it is zinc, magnesium, or iron, the mineral must be chemically bonded to another molecule so your body can absorb it. This process is called chelation. Cheap supplement brands use the cheapest possible elemental bonds because they cost pennies to manufacture. The absolute worst offender is magnesium oxide. If you check your current magnesium bottle and it says magnesium oxide, you are essentially swallowing processed pulverized rock. The human body can only absorb about 4% of magnesium oxide. The remaining 96% stays completely trapped inside your colon, where it acts as a harsh osmotic laxative, drawing massive amounts of water into your bowel and triggering sudden diarrhea. This rapid flushing effect actually washes out your body's existing stores of potassium, sodium, and water-soluble vitamins before they can ever be absorbed. You are taking magnesium to fix your health, but the cheap oxide form is actively dehydrating your cells and depleting your electrolytes. The exact same tragedy occurs with iron supplements. Most standard prenatal vitamins and iron formulas contain a cheap chemical form called ferrous sulfate. Ferrous sulfate is an inorganic iron salt that is highly reactive inside the human body. When it hits the acidic environment of your stomach, it releases massive amounts of free radicals that tear through the protective mucosal lining of your stomach and intestines, causing intense nausea, cramping, and severe constipation. Even worse, pathogenic bacteria in your gut absolutely love to feed on unabsorbed ferrous sulfate. By taking this cheap form of iron, you are actively fertilizing harmful inflammatory microbes in your colon, leading to severe dysbiosis. Furthermore, men and postmenopausal women should almost never take a supplement containing isolated iron unless diagnosed with a profound clinical deficiency. Unlike women of childbearing age, men have no natural mechanism to excrete excess iron from their systems. Iron is a heavy metal that rapidly accumulates in the body's tissues. It deposits directly into your liver, your pancreas, and your heart muscles. Once trapped in these organs, it undergoes a chemical reaction called the Fenton reaction, creating massive oxidative stress that destroys cellular mitochondria, drives severe insulin resistance, and elevates your risk of fatty liver disease. If you need iron, you should always obtain it from organic whole food matrices like grass-fed desiccated liver capsules, where the iron is bound to natural heme proteins that allow your body to safely regulate its absorption based on its actual physiological needs. But this mineral nightmare goes even deeper into the realm of contamination. Many cheap trace mineral supplements, especially those derived from low-grade industrial seabeds or unrefined clay deposits, are heavily contaminated with toxic heavy metals like lead, cadmium, arsenic, and aluminum. Because the supplement industry is loosely regulated, many brands do not perform rigorous third-party testing on their raw ingredients. You could be taking a daily zinc or green food powder that is slowly delivering microdoses of neurotoxic lead straight to your brain tissue every single morning, causing progressive fatigue, mood disorders, and cognitive decline. What happens next is the part that will completely change how you look at the health industry, and it brings us to our fifth and final red flag, the rancid oil and artificial coloring illusion. Look closely at your soft gel supplements. This includes your fish oils, your omega-3 fatty acids, your vitamin D3, and your evening primrose oil. To create a liquid soft gel, the active nutrients must be suspended in a carrier oil. Cheap manufacturers want to save every fraction of a cent, so they suspend these precious fat-soluble nutrients in highly inflammatory industrial seed oils. Check your labels for soybean oil, corn oil, cottonseed oil, or sunflower oil. These refined vegetable oils are loaded with unstable omega-6 fatty acids that have been chemically extracted using high heat and toxic chemical solvents like hexane. When you swallow a vitamin D3 soft gel that is floating in a base of rancid soybean oil, you are introducing highly oxidized lipid peroxides directly into your cells. These rancid oils damage your cellular membranes, disrupt your cellular receptors, and completely counteract the anti-inflammatory benefits that the vitamin was supposed to deliver in the first place. If this realization shocks you, hit that subscribe button right now because your metabolic health depends entirely on avoiding these hidden industrial traps. This rancidity issue is especially critical when it comes to fish oil and omega-3 supplements. Omega-3 fatty acids are highly delicate, long-chain polyunsaturated fats. They are extremely sensitive to light, oxygen, and heat. If fish oil is not meticulously sourced, processed under a strict oxygen-free nitrogen blanket, and kept cold from the ocean to the capsule, it oxidizes rapidly. When you buy a cheap, clear plastic bottle of fish oil that has been sitting under warm fluorescent store lights for months, you are buying a bottle of completely rancid, oxidized fat. When you swallow rancid fish oil, it does not lower your inflammation. It does the exact opposite. It creates severe oxidative stress inside your bloodstream, damaging your cholesterol particles and turning your LDL into oxidized LDL, which is the exact specific form of cholesterol that attaches to your arterial walls and initiates heart disease. You can easily test your fish oil at home, bite into a capsule. If it tastes intensely fishy, foul, or gives you harsh, repeating fish burps, that oil is completely oxidized and rancid. High-quality, fresh fish oil should have an incredibly mild, clean taste with zero foul aftertaste. But the illusion doesn't stop at rancid oils. Look at the actual color of your multivitamin tablets or capsules. Are they bright red, deep blue, or artificial yellow? Many mainstream vitamin brands add synthetic petrochemical dyes to their products simply to make them look uniform or visually appealing on the shelf. Check your label for FD and C blue number 1, yellow number 6, or red number 40. These are synthetic artificial colorings derived directly from petroleum. They are known neurotoxins that can trigger severe allergic reactions, alter your gut microbiome diversity, and cause behavioral issues and hyperactivity in children. Even worse, many white tablets are coated in titanium dioxide. Titanium dioxide is a chemical whitening agent used in industrial paints and plastics. It is added to vitamins purely to make the tablets look stark white. Recent international health studies have shown that titanium dioxide nanoparticles can pass directly through your intestinal wall, accumulate inside your vital organs, and cause severe cellular damage and genetic toxicity. There is absolutely zero biological reason for an artificial dye or a whitening chemical to ever exist inside a health supplement. It is a pure marketing gimmick designed to hide the ugly, gray, degraded reality of low-quality synthetic raw ingredients. Now that you know the 5 terrifying red flags that turn your daily supplements into toxic waste, you need to understand how to completely clean up your routine and implement a flawless, high-performance strategy to fortify your metabolic health. Your first step must be a complete audit of every single bottle currently sitting in your home. Take them out of the cabinet, flip them over, and ruthlessly check the other ingredients section. If you see magnesium stearate, maltodextrin, titanium dioxide, artificial colors, or industrial seed oils like soybean or corn oil, you need to throw those bottles directly into the trash. They are doing significantly more harm to your liver, your gut lining, and your metabolism than any minor nutritional benefit they claim to provide. Do not compromise on your health by consuming microdoses of industrial waste every single morning. Once your environment is clean, switch your entire purchasing philosophy from cheap synthetic extractions to organic whole food complexes. When you look for vitamin C, stop buying isolated ascorbic acid. Look for formulas derived from acerola cherry, camu berry, or rose hips. These whole food concentrates deliver the entire vitamin C wheel exactly as nature intended, complete with the bioflavonoids and cofactors your body requires for perfect absorption. When you buy a B complex, ensure the label explicitly states that the vitamins are naturally cultured from organic food sources, and verify that your B12 is always listed as methylcobalamin and your folate is listed as methylfolate, never folic acid. For your fat-soluble nutrients like vitamin D3 and K2, always choose brands that use a clean, stable, non-inflammatory carrier oil base, such as organic extra virgin olive oil, cold-pressed avocado oil, or coconut-derived MCT oil. This completely eliminates the threat of oxidized seed oils entering your cells. When it comes to minerals, select highly absorbable organic chelated forms. Replace your gut-destroying magnesium oxide with magnesium glycinate, which is bound to the calming amino acid glycine, allowing it to slip effortlessly through your intestinal walls without causing digestive distress. Remember, supplements should only ever be used to supplement an already flawless, nutrient-dense diet. You cannot use a handful of synthetic pills to override the damaging metabolic effects of a poor diet loaded with sugar, refined carbohydrates, and processed foods. The baseline of your health must always be whole, single-ingredient, nutrient-dense foods. Obtain your vitamin A from real egg yolks and grass-fed butter, get your selenium from 2 organic Brazil nuts a day, and secure your trace minerals from high-quality sea salt and wild-caught seafood. Use premium, third-party tested, clean supplements exclusively to fill the remaining structural gaps and create therapeutic protocols that accelerate your metabolic healing. Let's make sure this message changes your health trajectory forever. Scroll down right now, hit that like button to spread this vital knowledge across the world, drop a comment with the words metabolic power to prove you are committed to protecting your body from these industrial toxins, and make absolutely sure you are subscribed to Metabolic Health Lab so you can master your biology and take total control of your health journey. Now that you completely understand the massive mistakes to avoid with your supplements, click on the very next video appearing on your screen right now to discover the exact step-by-step blueprint to flooding your cells with maximum nutrients from real, fat-burning whole foods. Check it out now, and I will see you there.